It's amazing. If you break things down in small increments, you get a bigger picture of what something really is. So if you look at the average human lifespan, that's 80 years. If you say every 20 years, 25% of your life is over. So if you're 20 years old, 75% of your life is left. If you're 50 years old, if you're 40 years old, 50% of your life is left. If you're 60 years old, 25% of your life is left. If you're 80 years old and you're still alive, you are living on borrowed time. Measuring time. It's like measuring the ingredients on your food. While it may not be pleasant, it'll keep you away from unhealthy behavior. And to waste time and to not understand time is a wasteful thing. You want to get the most out of your life, like squeezing a toothpaste thing. And today, as I make this video, it's April 1st. And even though it's April Fool's Day, it's not a prank that 25% of this year is over. Only 75% of the year is left. I want you to remember that. Black Zone, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Infinity, great to see you. Andre, great to see all three of you. Thank you very much, and thank you, Black Zone. It's amazing when we do a little bit each day that it can add up. It's amazing that when we don't do a little bit each day, we can bury ourselves. Consistency I speak of often. I've learned it as I've matured. I didn't respect it enough when I was younger. That's part of immaturity. And looking at things in this dynamic, in this perspective where you break things down in quarters. Like when I first really remember the term quarters being used to measure something, it was in like, as you get older, financially speaking, if you work for a publicly traded company, they break things down in quarters because every quarter they report their earnings. Sometimes if you have to pay taxes, they tell you to do it every quarter if you own your own business to make it easier for the end of the year. And even if you're in college or high school, sometimes they refer to the grading period in a quarter. A quarter simply means 3 months out of the year. There's 4 quarters in a calendar year, okay? Because you got 12 months, okay? 12 divided by 3 is 4. So what we're doing is we're measuring time. We're measuring the ingredients so we don't get diabetes. We're measuring the ingredients so we maintain our health. We are measuring our time so that we don't waste it. And if we're dealing with the death of a loved one, we understand it. See, I remember when I had to put my dog down, it was one of the hardest decisions of my life. She was 10 years old. And for her breed, I looked it up on Google because I was struggling with the decision for weeks. She was suffering, but I still wasn't ready, because one day she would be good, the next day she would be bad. That's the worst part if you ever deal with someone elderly, whether a pet or a person, is sometimes they can have good days and bad days, and you get those mixed emotions. And so one thing that helped me was I looked at the average life expectancy of the breed of my dog. And it was right at that point, between 10 to 12 years. The bigger dogs are about that. The smaller dogs can go up to like 15 years plus. So, not that helped the pain, but understanding that my dog lived the average life, lived a full life, it made the acceptance better. If you had some tough days at work this year, if you just struggled in any way, like last week I had some bad days, but I kept showing up. You're going to be glad that you kept going. The worst thing you can do is stop, because time keeps going. And that's the sales pitch, always to keep moving forward, even if you're in extreme pain, because time will not stop. Whether it's a pandemic whether, God forbid, it was a war, whether it's facing the death of a loved one, whether it's a bad day at work, whether it's a breakup, whatever it is, keep moving forward. And also, beyond the painful part of it, the goal setting. If you don't have measurable progress, you're never going to achieve your goals, and you're going to waste your money and your time. If you're not looking at your investment portfolio every year to see if you're making or losing money, to at least put it in a category of, I'm making money, or this is a hobby, I'm losing money. If you're not looking at tracking, when are you going to move to Florida or whatever you're going to do, when are you going to sell your house, if you're not paying any attention to time and you're expecting things to get better over time, you're delusional. And I understand delusion, because I think if we're all fair, to a certain level, all of us, whether through immaturity or through failure, have been considered delusional. So I'm not speaking down to anyone. I'm speaking a sober awareness to life through my experience. And my message today on April 1st, it'll depend when you watch this, but this will apply to any part of life, is that we are 25% done with the year. And most people, I don't say most, I don't know. All I can say is a lot of people probably haven't done much. Maybe they went backwards. Maybe some people are making progress, and maybe progress is just keep showing up to whatever you need to do and keep focusing on your goals. And focus on your self-care. And you don't look at life just through quarters, you look at it through days. You know, how do you manage your day? Well, you allocate 6 to 8 hours for sleep, no more. Try not to be less. You know, so you take 24, let's say you take minimum 6 hours. You got 18 hours. You're going to have 3-4 hours for eating, recreation. You know, then you can just add whatever, the gym, work, hobbies. What are you doing each day? That matters, because your life is just a series of days that add up to years, and years are what we measure the human life expectancy, 80 years. If you're 20, you got 75% life left. If you're 40, you got 50% life left. That's me, on average. If you're 60, you got 25% life left. If you're 80, you're living on borrowed time. None of these things should make you live in fear or sad. They should make you aware of time. Because none of us, including me, can change it. Doesn't matter if I have 1 million followers or none. I can't change time. But it does help us accept some of things that happen in life that, I don't know. I think about, when I lost my dog, someone said to me, well, everything heals in time. And I found that not to be true. At least it gets better. I don't want to say that not to be completely true. Things get better over time, some things. I've certainly seen people who've lost their child at a young age before the average life expectancy. And that was a devastating thing that I don't know if they ever got over. I don't think you ever get over that. I was watching a guy getting interviewed on Joe Rogan the other day, and he was saying that his sister got murdered when they were in their teenage years, and he felt guilty for it. There was a whole story behind it, but now he's like in his 60s or 70s, and I looked, you could see like the pain in him still a little bit, and what you realize is, time doesn't necessarily heal all things. You carry it with you, but you do get stronger because you got no choice but to move on. If you don't move on, life is just worse. So that's the sales pitch of moving on. Well, you can stay in that sad state, but if you don't pull yourself out, then you are going to just suffer longer than you need. And some people can't pull themselves out, I understand, but I cannot speak to every situation. I can only speak from what I feel. Adam, good to see you, brother. How was your day? Infinity, how was your day? Andre, how was your day? Black Zone, how was your day? Adam, let me know, man. Let's take a hydration break. Let's keep pushing forward. And let's remember, guys, 25% of the year is over. Yeah, it's a long weekend coming up, at least in the States. Tomorrow's Good Friday, which is a national holiday, I believe, and Easter weekend, which is another holiday in the States. Uh, Easter Bunny, and then the religious purpose of what is it, Passover and Jesus' death and resurrection. Hal, what's up, brother? Great to see you, man. I appreciate you staying with me. How's everything going, Hal? Thank you, brother, for staying with me. I love you. I hope you're doing well. I hope pushing forward one day at a time. 25% of 2021 is in the garbage can. So we got 75% of the year left. And time is just ticking. What was that movie? Maybe it was House Party. Not one. Maybe, no, Class Act. I think it was Class Act, where the chef in the kitchen of the college cafeteria would say to, I believe he would mainly say it to everyone, but he was mainly talking to Kid, because I think Kid was working at the cafe. He would say, time waits for no man. And that's the message tonight. Time waits for none of us. We are riding the wave of time. We're on a surfboard. Sometimes the wave crashes, okay, and time feels like it's standing still. Sometimes we hit the wave just right, and I'm looking at some pair of butt cheeks right now, and that wave is hitting right. But I'm also looking at her boyfriend getting out of the opposite side of the car, and I say, even if she didn't have a boyfriend, I wouldn't get with her. Why? I'm going to spend my time single. Yep. Good job. Hal says, blessings. Thank you for the positive energy. Adam, rough, average. Adam has COVID. He's been diagnosed now for a few days, and he's probably getting close to the peak of the outbreak, which is usually 5 or 7 days into it. He goes rough. Right now, he's averaging a temperature of 106. Ended up going to the hospital last night, was wheezing. That's the toughest part, the congestion. Yeah, but I have finally got my temperature back down under control. Amen. That's good to hear, brother. Keep me posted, and I'll keep you in my prayers. I'm still looking probably to get the vaccine. I've been, how it works in Florida, and I believe every state, you got to log on in the morning and, see if you can get in line virtually and then go to the store, whether it's a supermarket or CVS or whatever. And so I'm probably still looking to get that vaccine because just not worth it to take the risk. But hopefully, just, do the best you can to hydrate and to stay well. How? Time keeps ticking. Got to move with it. You got to move with it. And, it's not easy at times. And sometimes it is. Life is not all sad. Life sometimes is very inspiring. And usually, when things are going good, it may feel like time is going fast. And usually when times are bad, it may seem like it's going slow. And but it's just like everything in life. You just do what you focus on, what you can control, right? So, sometimes I'm stumbling through things. Sometimes I'm hitting on all cylinders. But again, it's the consistency. It's the awareness of time. It's like you're the project manager of your life. And, it's better that you're at least doing something. A productive person, someone who is paying attention to their day, to their goals, to their life, to their responsibilities. It just makes for a better life. That's the sales pitch. The sales pitch is not, look, it's not to micromanage anyone else or myself. It's to say, look, I want to get the most out of my life, like, again, squeezing toothpaste. So, and I don't want to suffer more than I need to. So I'm not going to just ignore time. I'm not going to just hit the snooze button. I'm not going to just not have goals and measure them. Because why shoot myself in the foot? Why make my life harder? I don't want to do that. I want to make my life easier. You should want to make your life easier. And it's different for everyone. Some people say, I don't know how you made your life easier by living in a car. And so whatever, there's different things, right? But, certainly you're going to make your life easier if you cut your expenses and increase your income. That's one aspect of life. You still got to take care of your health. You still got to take care of your mind, your body, your relationships. But it's like, it's your job to figure out your own life, no one else's. Definitely looking forward to coming down to Florida at the end of April. Well, good, man. That's excellent. You'll be coming down. It'll be sweaty time, okay? Because by the time end of April comes, the Snowbirds are just about migrating up north. And the only people coming down to Florida, well, there's still some people coming down to Florida, but usually the people coming to Florida in May and after that are usually people just trying to get a little extra cheaper air flight because it's getting hot and juicy. I like it like that though, except hurricane season. How? Had the second interview. Good. The upper management didn't think I had enough supervision experience to give me the position. Okay. Well, you tried, and there's no failure in trying. So like I say, that's why you keep having several sources. You keep doing your Instacart. You keep applying for other jobs. And like I say, to be in the Brooklyn area, I'm just very surprised that, you know, a Target, which starts at $15 an hour, or any of those things, just to get you back in the rhythm, are not hiring. But it is what it is. You know, like I say, I know that, you know, you may be trying to stretch the unemployment out, you know, or waiting for a better one. And I understand that too, you know, but either way, going through the interview process is a positive. Why? Because you got more experience in the interview process. Okay. That's what I've learned through my experience in life. So, but like I tell you, you know, you have to keep in mind that, right, extended unemployment is going to run out in September. So we're we're more than a quarter of a way to September. We're about 50% close to September. And so, you know, just try very much to be aware of that deadline date, because with the vaccines and everything, I very highly doubt it that they'll extend that. I could be wrong. But you just want to be mindful not to get into July. You know, like you say, yeah, well, I'll be okay by September. But you don't want to wait till September. You know, it's like you kind of want to have something by July, because once July and August comes, there's going to be a big desperation in your spirit, at least as I reflect on my own life when I was in that position. And I was in that position because I worked for the union as an electrician, and I waited to the end one time and it screwed me. Hold on, the beautiful Jersey girl, Lynn. The very pretty girl, very pretty woman, I should say. Jersey girl Lynn, a caretaker and a YouTuber. She got a great YouTube channel. She's got almost 4,000 subscribers. She's monetized. That's her second hustle. And she's got a great life, guys. She's a very sweet, caring person, but she's also a tough survivor. Like I say, in my experience with Lynn, and Lynn can correct me if I'm wrong, when I watch Lynn's videos, she is very measured in what she's doing and how she's saying it. She's very calm, very focused. But if you look at her body language, that's what I learned. That's what I learned through companionship. If you look at her body language, what it tells me is she has been through a lot and she knows a lot of the games of life. Okay. And she remains optimistic, but you know, you're not going to bullshit her too much. Okay. You know, it's like you can't hustle a hustler. Not that she's hustling, but she's been through, you know, she knows life. Okay. And, you know, she's got a story. And what I like about Jersey girl Lynn is she tells her story. Like, she'll do a video, like, you think she's not going to do that topic. She's going to do that topic. Okay. Now, you know, she doesn't get into it like me. Like, I tell you guys, like, this, that, you know, she's a little bit more reserved. But again, if you listen to her videos and if you read her body language, her life story is in her YouTube channel. But her YouTube channel is not just based around her life, it's based around her entire journey. Okay. One of my favorite videos of Jersey girl Lynn was in the beginning of the pandemic. There was a couple videos I watched where one is you were talking about going back to college. And you said you thought about your age and everything that would be involved in it. And you said, you know what, at this point, it'd probably be best to just let my daughter carry on that legacy and go to that next level. And I understood that, you know. And then also, she was honest when she was like, there was something holding her back after the pandemic hit. And she was like, well, she was struggling for the right word because she speaks 2 languages. And she goes, I didn't have the courage to, you know, face the caretaking job when the pandemic had just hit. Now she's back in it, she's doing it, and I don't know if it was just that moment. But what I'm trying to tell you is I loved the honesty of how she looked at herself and life, and she gave you a direct answer. And she's more polished than me. You guys know I'm a little bit rough. Okay. I'm a guy too. That's part of it. But, and I respect her husband because her husband, he seems like, the guy knows he's got to tread lightly. Lynn runs the show. I'm not going to lie. You can see Lynn runs the show. Okay, you can see it. Okay. Now, you guys know I run the show. I can't, to me, I run my shit. Okay. So, I would never be able, but all I can tell you is, Jersey girl Lynn, Jersey Life Lynn. I enjoy your videos. I enjoy, more than your videos, I enjoy your story. And I enjoy reading the body language, which tells a lot of your story that may not be verbally expressed. Okay. And I also enjoy your husband's story, because I see, a part of life, that he has in his perspective, because he's been through a lot too, with the Navy, with his injury, and also your daughter, now your daughter, I could tell your daughter has lived as rough life as you, like your daughter, like she, you're like, you've been through the storm, and that's how you made it better for your daughter. Your daughter is like, she, I think she had it a lot easier than you, but that's good. That's what parents try to do. They try to make it better for their kids, so you did that. And, my experience in life, what is a parent trying to do for their child? They're trying to make their life easier. Okay. Now, again, there's been some people that haven't been blessed with good parents, and I empathize with that. I know something. I understand life. But, I'm also acknowledging, what I'm seeing. So thank you, Jersey Girl Lynn. Thank you, Black Zone. Thank you, all my members. I got way off track, guys. Forgive me. I get a little bit off track. I love good looking women. I'm going to get a little bit off track, guys. But she's married. No disrespect. All right, we're going back to live comments. And how did I miss? Hal, I love you, brother. Keep pushing forward. And like I said, then we're going to go to Twister. Is that why the union was good? I learned an electrical trade, and I'm very thankful for that. Without the union, I wouldn't have the credentials and the experience. And they gave a certain amount of pay that was excellent. But the bad part was you'd get laid off often, and then you get in a cycle of unemployment. And I kind of was doing the same thing in my younger days. You kind of wait for it to get to the end. And I did that a couple times, and I said, you know what? This is not the rhythm to life. This is the rhythm to, I saw the people living that life. I didn't want to live that life. And so that's why I eventually left the union. Now, to be fair, there were some union electrician workers that were very hard workers. They were very focused on their job. They got hooked up with a steady company, and they earned their way to barely ever getting laid off. And I did that a little bit, but being an electrician was not my life goal. I just did it as a means to the end. So even though I had some jobs I did excellent, some jobs I did subpar, my goal was to get through my schooling, to get through my time I had to put in, and then get the fuck out of Dodge. Because it just wasn't my goal. I mean, it was like, I was just using it to get to where I needed to get, but I'm still grateful for it. I still acknowledge the good that it does. I mean, that's what makes New Jersey, New Jersey. Like, even though there's parts, that's a shithole as far as the climate in some areas, but what makes it have all the money and why people come down to Florida and retire and then buy houses in cash is because, look, we had great jobs. We had, good middle class jobs. We had, a lot to offer. And there's probably still there to a certain degree, but life is different now with technology where people can work from anywhere, whether you're a traveling nurse or IT manager or whatever. So, there's a lot to be said there, but thank you. I know I'm getting way off track tonight, guys, but hopefully you're getting something out of my blabbering. Where we at? Twisted. What's up, Sam? What's up, brother? Great to have you, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, this week, I would say this week was overall positive. Last week was negative, and I like to share that with you guys because you have to learn to just fight through or survive the negative times. Now, it wasn't as negative as it could be. Like, I watched a video today of, who is it? I think it was Brooke Shields. It was a famous American actress, and she's in her 50s or 60s, but she had a freak accident in the gym, broke her pelvis, and now she could barely walk. So she was in super good shape, very phenomenal shape physically. She would go to the gym every day. So she was telling the story on how she got hurt. She was like on this like balancing, like almost like a surfboard, but it's like a balancing thing that you work on your body, strength or whatever. And someone asked her to show them. And when she tried to show someone, she slipped. Her body went up in the air and her hip landed right on like this hard object and shattered her whole hip. And now she's basically like disabled to the point where she could barely, or they thought she wouldn't even be able to walk. Now she's going through physical therapy, being able to walk. And she was taking us through in the interview the psychological and physical pain that she was enduring to push forward, because she's still got more life to live. She's not dead. She's not, 90 years old. She's 50s or 60s. So she was like, look, what do you do? Because here's a beautiful woman, a rich woman. Okay, so she's got a lot going for her, and she was taking care of herself. It wasn't like she was just staying home, not eating. She was in the gym. That's the crazy part about life, right? So anything can happen, to humble us or to break us. But she was already pretty humble. But all I can tell you is I found strength in at least being able to listen to her story and be thankful for what I have. And you say to yourself, well, how do you get through these bad times? Well, you try to remember, even though it's not easy, at least try to reflect, on other people. Even if you think they're doing better than you, they still have tremendous battles in their own life. I remember when I was young and immature, I used to think, well, this person looks good, this person's rich, and some people looked at me like that for certain things. They have everything. And some aspects they do, or I did, but you still have life. Okay. And if you can't, I'm struggling even to say that if you can't survive the bad times, you're not going to be able to persevere. I don't wish bad times on any of us, including me. But I do want to say that whether it's just a bad day emotionally or whether it's a real issue that you're facing, a traumatic issue, which I pray never happens to us, we have to just keep moving. We have to take a moment to cry or to go crazy. But, there's that thing that has to switch. And we have to go to the next thing, one step at a time. Twister, I might have to go early today, but it's good to see you. Well, Twister, it's great to see you. Thank you for everything you've been sharing in these live feeds these past couple days. You've been sharing a lot. I respect what you're doing. I know you're working at the donut shop. I know you're trying to figure out your next step in life. And I know you're in California, it's a little bit earlier in there right now. And I know, like I said, my biggest thing to you is try to avoid buying that van until you've been on the road for a little bit. However, do whatever you want with your money in your life. That's what life's about. I saw someone say today that there's this startup company that's like a social media company, but how they're going to do the platform is like you share your life like in a video like this, right? But in addition to someone being able to thumbs up, thumbs down, what they're going to do is they're going to allow viewers to choose or to offer like to support the channel, but you have to do what they say. Like if you're questioning like, should I have a child? What you're going to do is like, you're going to take a poll on your channel per se. And if your viewers want you to have a child, if you're signed up for this platform or whatever, they want you to do something like you kind of agree, like to, if not do it, like really try to go down that road. So I felt like that was like crazy. I would never sign up for something like that. So now, will someone sign up for something like that? Guys, people sign up for giving plasma, for giving all types of shit. I mean, I'm sure there's some psychopaths say, fuck it, what do you want me to do, look at fans only, guys. I would do it, it's crazy. So, All right, let's go back live comments. Hal, when I spoke to the night manager who told me about the second interview, she said that the second interview wouldn't affect the decision. So when they said that, it made me really down. No, I can empathize with your pain. I've been rejected for some jobs, and no matter how much I was prepared, even the ones like I kind of knew I wasn't going to get, but I said, fuck it, I'll apply. When I was on my journey to work remotely, I applied for a couple jobs that I probably knew I wasn't first in line, but I said, I'm going to go through the process. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm glad I went through the process because it helped me to refine myself in the interview process and make connections, network with other people to show them that, look, I have something to offer, and that's what you're doing. Like, even if you don't get the job, you're networking with people because you're presenting yourself and they get to ask you questions and you get to get grilled. And even if you fail, someone may see something in you. And they may say, you know what, maybe not this job and maybe not even something next, but somewhere down the line that may come into play. So, but I do know that even for the jobs I thought I would never get, when I wasn't accepted, I felt crushed. And I felt, where do I go from here? And I had to take a couple days or maybe even a week or so, 2 weeks, I think the max, where I was like a little bit mentally dragging down, and I was like questioning my confidence, like, where do I go from here? And I was surprised that I was that crushed because I applied with not even thinking I was going to get it. Now, how does that apply to you? Because I'm not trying to just talk about my life. I'm saying this to empathize with the real letdown that you or anyone else feels when you apply for a job, even if you don't think you're getting it. But if you think you're getting it and you don't, then it's really a letdown. It's understandable. So you got to lick your wounds, and then you got to go forward. So there's a time to lick your wounds. Adam, I'm originally from Florida. Well, so 60% of my family lives there. Okay, well, poor Adam. I want to say Gainesville. Is it the Gainesville area? Only because you're in the outdoors. How I am now getting back on my feet. I was feeling down. Well, yeah, I can understand that, man. I thought I had it. I understand. And I know that it's been tough to be in the live feeds. And I love you, Hal. I really do, man. And I know if you have to leave the channel at some point, I just always want you to know that I'm proud of you. And I never want you to feel pressured. Now, sometimes I push you a little bit, okay? Because, I don't have friends that just are unemployed and do nothing. Okay, I don't. So I'm not going to lie to you either. Like, if we were chilling, but it's okay if you're trying and you're not getting where you want to get. There's no shame in trying. But there is a different mindset in someone doing versus not doing. And it's not that I have judgment on someone not doing, but it's like there's a different energy to life. And it's just that it clashes. So that's kind of my perspective, but I'm proud of you. Jersey girl, Lynn, Jersey life, Lynn. You know what it is. I saw you're a queen, so I hope you're still in here. You should have saw Jersey girl, Lynn. I saw when you cooked those pancakes, when you had that robe on. I said, she's the queen of that. I saw, you was rich. Yeah, you don't let your family in Philippines see that. Because you was walking around that house like a rich American housewife. You was calling all shots. You was like the Filipino Trump. You was like, you do this, you do that. Yeah, I seen you looking rich. I was going to ask you to borrow some money when I saw that video. I just playing. You're doing a great job, Jersey Lynn. Very proud. Happy Easter, Jersey Lynn. Very proud of you and your family, your husband and your daughter. I know no family is perfect. I remember, dating some Spanish chick. I don't know. All I can tell you is this. There was a couple people I knew, and I thought their family was perfect. But their family was good. But no family is perfect. So I've learned over time to never put a person or a family on a pedestal. There are some people that are healthier than others as far as like how they live. But guys, at the end of the day, it's all the same crap. It's all the same crap. So, you really, just don't. One is don't believe anything you see, especially online, but don't neglect the lessons and the reality of their experience that you can learn from and that you can connect with, because there's still great things that they're sharing. You know what I mean? It's like, no matter what, you could still get great things from an imperfect person. We're all, myself included, imperfect, okay? So, we just take the inspiration for what it is, you know what I mean? Hal, I got a call for an interview for a concierge. Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. See, Hal was in the motel business. You were a very successful hotel manager or whatever. And that was the hardest industry hit, so I give you a lot of credit. The travel industry was the biggest industry hit. Now, I think it'll come back, and it looks like it will as we get these vaccines and people get herd immunity. But I understand that that's a very tough thing. Let me continue before I go crazy. He goes, I got a call for an interview from a concierge in Hudson Yards, the new residential building right next to the vessel. Okay. Still attacking, Sam. That's what I want to hear. Keep moving forward. Sam, thanks for still sparking. I love you, brother. Like I say, if I really felt, I don't know you. I only can go off with the comments and the energy I feel. But I don't feel to me that you are someone that doesn't have something to offer at a high level in society. Okay. At a high level. Now, you're not going to start at a high level again. I know you got knocked down. But for a man that's you're still under 40, you still got half of your life left. You got 25% of your work life left. Beyond the money's part of it. Why is money part of it? Because I want everyone to at least have some independence. It's not about being greedy. But like I watch one guy and I love him. But every video when he starts to talk about spirituality, he always goes, we're living in this material world. Yeah, Madonna told us I'm a material girl in a material world. But Madonna entertained us. Madonna gave value to society through the capitalist entertainment. By just speaking a lot of philosophy spiritually, you don't give shit to the people. You're still looking for answers, the same one you were 20 years ago. There is no answers to some things. So strap on a dildo and tell everyone you're a material girl living in a material world. It was a great song. What I want to tell you today, don't mind fuck life. Because all you give yourself and other people is hot air. They want videos about Florida or about changing their life, and they want to be able to make money to live their life. It doesn't mean they can't take care of other people or society. But it does mean that if we were in the barter system, okay, and I had, okay, a hoodie, and I needed some food, and you didn't have food, you didn't have anything to trade me, all you had was hot air about philosophy, no one would care. Okay. Thank God, okay, that we got the Federal Reserve, we got all these other currencies, but more than that, we have a system where there is a financial reward for being a nurse. Thank God for that. Okay? Because let me tell you something, guys. If you get in a car accident, thank God for nurses and doctors. Now, thank God for pastors. You need some spiritual thing. I'm not going to neglect the spiritual. Especially, I know it's Easter. I love that. But the first thing you want when you get in an accident, and I've been in an accident, is you want an ambulance and you want to get to the hospital. And you want help. You don't want to know about the afterlife. You want to know about get this pain. Okay. And then if the doctors or the whatever can't do it, then you can come in there. But you better have the answers. What are you going to tell them? Well, maybe you're going to come back as this. Maybe you're going I don't. And the bottom line is, what you're going to tell them is, I don't know. Okay. Because you don't know. Okay. But I've been there. What you tell them is, all of us don't know, but that doesn't mean we can't have hope and faith and still believe. And that is true. That's not bullshit. It's not hot air. Because I've been there on deathbeds. And I sincerely meant it then, and I mean it now. That we should, even at our last breath, have hope and belief. But we should never live this life that we don't do something with our gifts, with whatever. Even if we don't want to do something. Guys, all the years I worked as an electrician, I didn't want to do it. But I ran wires for hospitals. How do you think you plug in a respirator? Okay. So there's going to be a lot of things in life you don't want to do. But if you just drive around your car on a non-monetized channel and go back to your house and sleep in a separate room than your wife, what are you doing for yourself and for society? Beyond what's going to happen in the afterlife, I want to know what you're doing in this life. Okay. Because if there is an afterlife, I would think that you doing something in some capacity is more important than thinking about what's going to happen in some capacity. Are you going to make mistakes? Guys, doers make mistakes. Have I made mistakes? All the time. Have I tried to get better? Of course. Do the best I can. Do I mind fuck life? There's been times. But I try to get better. And that's the message. Like, let's take hydration break, go back to live comments. Adam, my man. Thanks. Happy Easter to you and Jersey Life. Yeah, Jersey Life. Same to you, Adam. Yeah. Free Spirit, what's up, brother? Oh, shit. I'm all in my sermon. I missed Tim Sterling joined the All Access chat. Welcome, brother. Welcome, Tim, to the All Access chat, brother. I appreciate you. My man Andre's always welcoming, man. He says, welcome. Adam says, welcome. Thank you both. Tim, hell yeah, man. Thank you, man. Yes, dude. Appreciate your wisdom. I'm like 27. This is so cool. Wow, man. God bless you, Tim, man. Welcome. For the moment in time that we connect, because you can cancel at any time, and that's why I like it. There's no commitment beyond what you want, okay? And there's no manipulation. What there is, okay, is take whatever you can from me and figure things out for yourself, because I don't have all the answers. And some things I'm saying are probably not right in some regards. But there is something, okay, in someone who does something consistently, and you can tell if it's bullshit or not to a certain degree. You know, like you can watch and you can see what does smell, and beyond all that, it's not a magic trick. Okay. There was one guy who was watching my channel, and I don't want to say he was wrong. He was saying, like, happiness is a choice. And I looked on his channel, because every time I hear a comment and it doesn't sit 100% right, I go, the first thing I do is I look on their channel. I want to see what they're talking about. And I looked on his channel, and it was all about magic tricks. Okay, some dark magic. Sorry. And I don't want to say it was a negative channel, and I don't want to say what he said was wrong. He said happiness is a choice. Because I was talking about last week, I was talking about, you know, how everyone's miserable, life is hard sometimes. And I did hear Brooke Shields say today when she had gotten that injury. She said when she was faced with a broken pelvic and she couldn't walk, she felt sorry for herself for a little bit. And she said, why me, which is natural. You have to say that. And then she said, yeah, she had to make the choice to move on. So, you know, to one extent, the thing the guy said to me the other week on the comment section, you know, which he kind of questioned what I was saying, even though I think he took it out of context. He said, look, you know, happiness is a choice. And I'm not going to say it's 100% right, but what I'm going to say is every one of us have a choice. And that is something that should never be sold, okay? And that's one of my messages on the channel is live below your means so that you have more choices, so that you can be yourself and do what you feel you're called to do however long you're here. Because if you can't do that, look, you're still going to have to get through life one way or another, but if you can't do that, I don't think you'll sweat and be alive. Look, YouTube is still a job to me, a little bit of side hustle. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't money involved. I've done other things that are similar to this when money wasn't involved. So I've done both. And, you know, I know that this is part of what I enjoy to do, part of my gift. But I also know it's you know, there's money involved, so it's a hustle. You know, let's be honest with it. So what am I saying? I'm saying I'm still able to be myself, and I'm still able to give the message beyond the money, because it's not my main source of money. How does that apply to anything we're talking about tonight? Because it's all part of the time and how we spend our time in life. There's part of the time in life that you spend doing things you may not want to do, so that to live your truth, you have the option to either live in it when you have the resources, or to live with someone else when you don't. And what I want to tell you is, no matter what, time goes on. Whether you do what you need to do, whether you don't. Whether you live in your gift, or you live in your truth, or you don't. Whether you work or whether you're unemployed. Time goes on. But, there's a certain amount of inspiration or passion that is legit. And sometimes passion is surviving bad days. It's not just like always being like super happy. And that's why I do videos about that too. But I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. I'm looking inwardly to try to figure out what to say next. And what to say next is, that's all I have to say. Keep my mouth shut and I'll go to the next live comment. Because when in doubt, don't drag it out. I was going to drag it out and I ain't going to do that to you. All right, let's take a hydration break till I'm sweating my ass off. See, that's what happens. You get a member or you get a super chat and you want to show gratitude. But then what you also don't want to do, okay, is try to outdo yourself. And that is the beauty of living a simple life with low expenses and multiple sources of income, is that just the ability to be yourself is very important in life. At least for me it is. And not to be controlled by others is very important. There's different protocols. I always say it. I want to say it again before I go next comment. There's the professional protocol. When, if you're a nurse, if you're in a hospital, if you're a construction worker, if you're at the job site, if you're a IT worker in an office building or on a Zoom conference call, whatever. And there should be boundaries, right, for your different aspects of life. Because certainly, you're not paid to share your personal, political, or religious views on your job. It's not what it's meant to be. But certainly, in your personal life, in your personal ventures, there's part of you that needs to express politically, religiously, and that's great. Freedom of expression is what makes, I would say, America great. And now look, there's parts of America that aren't, but that's the great part. I would certainly not want to live in a country where either one religion was the only way, or no religion, or one political thing was the only way. And sometimes, look, I hate the other political facets of America. When there's a major debate on one side or the other, that's contentious. But as painful as it is, and sometimes it is painful, it is part of, finding truth. And it's part of how you dig through the bullshit. And sometimes you're getting bullshitted, and sometimes you're bullshitting someone else. But how do you figure out what's what? Well, you gotta, you gotta cipher through it, And all right, let's go back to live comments. Adam, the Happy Easter, Jersey Life. Adam, Free Spirit, what's up, man? Free Spirit, Sam. It's good to see you, brother. I hope today was good to you. Well, I hope it was good to you, Free Spirit. Free Spirit, what are you gonna do for the long weekend? Do you have off tomorrow? I have off tomorrow, so thank God for that. I'll probably shave tonight. Take a good shower, and then I don't know, it'll be self-care over the weekend. I got laundry and stuff to do, but I don't have anything planned. But it's probably getting warmer up north. I forgot where you are, Free Spirit. You on the West Coast? Adam, Lakewood. Okay, no, Lakewood, Lakeland. I mean, Winter Haven. Okay, this is the middle to western part of Florida. Haines City area. I don't know Haines City. Okay. Blue. Hey, Turquoise Blue. What's up, Turquoise? How was your week? And how are you doing, Turquoise, aka Blue? How? I got knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. Well, I like that spirit, man. Like I say, man, you go with people too. Obviously, look, I've seen you under pressure on the channel and your comments and your Discord and your communication skills. And so if you could take the pressure and not fold up, you've got more abilities than most people, because many people have talent. But the problem is, they can't stay in the workforce because they can't take the pressure of, having an uncomfortable time at work with people. And if you can handle that, then you're going to go very far in life. But as an adult, like we go as far as we push ourselves. Like, when you're in school or whatever, there's a little bit more society push, group push. As we become adults, and certainly in our 30s and 40s, we're full adults. In your 20s, especially early 20s, you could say, you're still figuring it out, right? But once you get to your 30s and 40s, it's you now. You're an adult. And it's like, and what was my man Tim? He's 27. He's right at that cusp where, like, I remember I was on a job site and I was telling the guy, I was like, I'm 23, man. I'm still young. He goes, Sam, 23? He goes, you're a fucking man. What are you talking about? You're a young man. He goes, you're not that young. What are you talking about 23? Like I always tell you, I got some girls, sometimes they tell me, yeah, I'm 45, I'm young. I said, you ain't young, you're middle-aged. Now, you still look good, okay? I still like you, but you're not young. I mean, let's be honest, okay? So, like I said, when he talked direct to that was the first time I heard someone tell me like that. Like, don't consider yourself something that you're not. And if you're 27, certainly if you're 37, you're not a young man. You are an adult man. Okay. Now, it's up to you how you want to act like it, and it doesn't mean you can't still have fun, but it does mean there's a certain switch in the mind when we look at ourselves a certain way. Like I always say, if you have parents, if you've been fortunate enough to have parents, no matter how old you get a gray beard, or if you have your own children, if you're a mother, your daughter is always going to, your mother is always going to look at you as if you came out of the womb, as a baby. And even when you become an adult, there's something in their mind that they remember when they changed your diaper or whatever they remember, right? And again, I realize some people didn't have parents growing up, but you know what I'm saying. And so that's how they look at you. But you eventually look at yourself like, no, I'm an adult, okay? But if you look at yourself like that, you have to carry yourself like that. Like I said, I remember the movie Coming to America when Eddie Murphy was working in McDowell's, a.k.a. McDonald's, and he was mopping the floors. And to me, which was a very underestimated part of the movie, the girl he wanted to get with noticed him mopping the floor. And she didn't look down on him. And the reason she didn't look down on him was because she said how he carried himself doing it, how he looked at himself. See, he was a king mopping the floor, and he didn't mind doing it. And he still carried himself like a king with dignity and respect. Have you ever pulled up to a fast food spot and the person doing the ordering is like fucking like garbage? Like at least they're working, but they're garbage. I know, even when I did DoorDash, like I would wear a DoorDash shirt, I would try to be, and so I have experienced recently working a very minimum wage type job. And I would try to carry myself as if I was working a corporate job. And people noticed that. And I noticed that some people doing DoorDash, they would come into the store, yeah, I'm here to pick up DoorDash. And they're like, they're not even focused. I said, what? How they look at themselves. So how you look at yourself will determine how others, maybe outside your parents, look at you. And I had to learn that, so we got to learn that as people. Back to live comments. Hal, I read it. Tim, welcome again, man. Andre, thank you for being very welcome. Adam, welcome, Tim. Tim, yep, read that. Tim, hey, thanks for the welcome. I appreciate that, man. Tim, for sure, I honestly think there's some good motivation in Florida. Well, there definitely is. Now, look, Florida isn't perfect. Definitely in the winter, the warm weather, Florida is the warmest state in the United States of America in the winter. That's why in the winter, it's a no-brainer. It's for the win. In the summer, it's only for the selected few that can handle extreme heat. And September and October will weed out the shaft or whatever you want to call it. So, look, if I couldn't work remote and if I couldn't leave during hurricane season, would I still move to Florida? Yes. Because to me, if I had to live somewhere, every place in the world has a season that's bad. Okay. So you just have to figure out, like, there's tornadoes right now, right through the middle of the country. So no one gets away from anything. You say, yeah, well, climate change. Guys, what about the tornadoes? You can live in the middle of the country. Don't matter. So you have to figure out what's best. Now, for me as a nomad, if there's a hurricane coming, I'm still going to use my flexibility. If I eventually buy a home base, or if I eventually couldn't work remote and had to stay in Florida, I would do what I have to do. I'd rather that than live back in a state where there's a winter. So for me, Florida is inspiring because it has a tropical climate. It has diverse people from all over the country and all over the world. There's some parts that are straight country backwoods, but the parts I like are very diverse and vibrant. And for me, if I have to take some negative, then I'd rather take the September and October height of hurricane season as the negative than waste 6 months every year of my life guaranteed in a winter, or live in an area that the culture doesn't inspire me. That's true. Tim's laughing good. Laughter's good for the soul. Adam, thanks, Tim, for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you, Adam. Tim, agreed, Hal. Andre, Haines City is about 30 minutes south of Orlando. Okay, the middle of the country. Thank you. Middle of Florida. My cousin lives there. Oh, really? I didn't know that. You guys know the area. I didn't know that. Good job, Andre. Tim says, I hate myself some days too, laughing. Like, who fucking cares if I die? Well, yeah, like I say, it's, you have to work through that, and you have to look at how you view yourself. If you need someone else to care about you, well, I think we all, at points in our life, need someone to care about us, okay? However, as an adult, we have to learn self-care and self-love. Now, if you've never felt that or been shown that, it's understandable. However, at a certain point, there's nothing we can do to change the past. You have to accept it. See, some people troll me, and they say things like that to me to knock me off my space and to set this tone in the air, okay, of, well, why? I can never tell someone else why they should love themselves or life. And I would never give a false reality of life that there's something you can do that can make it perfect. That's not my sales pitch. My sales pitch is you got to go on your own journey. But if you don't put in the work, there is never going to be progress. And the best time to start is today. And there's parts of the journey that we need support groups, whether a church, whether Alcohol Anonymous, whether a work group to help you build a skill set, whether Weight Watchers, whatever you need. Because there's no way I got to the point in my life, for me, without group support. However, I also left that group support when I got what I needed to develop myself. So there is a balance of, we all need support groups at times to build ourselves up. And then we all need to fly to test our wings. And we're going to fail and we get back up. Good job. Adam, not a bad city to live in, Andre. Oh, Haynes, Twister, amen. Thank you, Twister. Free spirit. Yeah, I remember we talking about the big, remember Charles Barkley said about the big chicks in San Antonio? He goes, San Antonio, but I left my office job that had me confined to the house for over a year straight to do over the road trucking. Oh, okay. Shout out to all my truck drivers. And now I'm getting the bag. Yeah. Doing something I really enjoy. Shout out to you. Shout out to all truck drivers, man. I've met some great truck drivers online and in real life, because there's sometimes I spend time at truck stops for one night stays or whatever. And look, I would say that's still a middle class job in America, being a truck driver. Now, it could be a tough job because there's a lot of times on the road that you're driving and not walking. And if you're not very careful of your diet, you can get very unhealthy. However, I've met some people very in shape as truck drivers, and I have met some people very passionate. It's not just a job, it's a passion. to deliver truck loads. And I respect it. I respect any passion and any way you can earn a living that's positive and healthy. So that's awesome, man. Good job, Free Spirit. Shout out to you, all truck drivers. Back live comments. Twister. My mom tells me to chill out and live out my age. However, I think since we grew up really broke, Twister is us from an immigrant family, I believe from Iran, right? And so just so you know some of the background story, his mom and he got in an argument with his mom months back. They went to live in his car. He's working at a donut shop in LA and he's trying to figure out his life. That's the backdrop on Twister. His dad's okay, but he's a little bit rough, very old school Iranian guy. And that's kind of what he told me so far. He goes, however, since we grew up really broke and my dad wasn't really a strong father figure, that made me way more mature and mission-driven compared. Yeah, that's interesting, and I appreciate you sharing that, Twister. You're very good at communicating what you've went through. Now, the one dynamic about life that, like I say, I learned is some of your circumstance doesn't determine how you end up. Like I say, I grew up in a household with siblings. We all went to the same public schools. We all have pretty much the same opportunities. But each one of us are different. And so you can't even say, like, if you put 3 children in the same house with the same opportunities, that they're all going to end up doing the same or similar or good or bad. Everyone's going to be different. It doesn't matter if they're in a first world country, third world country, to the extent of who they are, okay, and how they look at life. I mean, there's something about that. There's no exact science to life. Obviously, you know, the healthier the environment, obviously, you know, the more resources, there's a highly likelihood of success, right? But there's no guarantee of anything. So, you know, that's the interesting part of life, Twister. To my people my age, I'm 22, you're a young guy, man. I didn't know you were that young. Well, I'm going to be a little bit lighter on you because you're young. You're a young man, but I told you the story. I remember being 23 on a construction job site, and a guy told me straight up, because I call myself young. He said, Sam, you're 23. You're not young. You're a fucking man. You know, so, you know, you're still young, but, you know, so it's good to talk about that. Twister. I always think about this. I think that is the cause of a lot of stress and overthinking. But to me, I honestly don't have a choice. How can I party and bar hop when I know my family is broke back home? Well, you got survivor's guilt. You know, like, you know, I know a lot of times too, like, for the immigrant lifestyle, you know, you're responsible to make money and then send money back to home. And I think Lynn does that too. She's from the Philippines. I got a friend from South America. My grandfather came from Italy. I don't know how much of that he did with the So, I don't know. Like, that's a dynamic there. I can't say I have 100% experience with. I have some friends that went through that algorithm. And what I could tell you is never going to be enough for some people. And they're going to guilt trip you the rest of your life. So, bottom line is, the best way you can repay your family is by working on yourself. Because you're not making enough at Dunkin' Donuts to support your family or to support yourself, period. I remember watching an interview with Ashton Kutcher's wife. She's, I think she's Russian. She immigrated here from Russia. Her parents did. She was in that movie with Denzel Washington, Eli's book. She was the girl. She was the girl that was with him. And I watched the interview with her. And again, her parents, I think, immigrated from Russia. And her parents were down to like their last bit of money. They were working, but they were broke as fuck. And she was the first generation American in their house. So they wanted better for their daughter. And so the daughter in like high school wanted to go to acting classes. And her parents could have been strict, like, no, we came to America for you to do that. But they said, look, we'll support you. And they gave her $600, like their last $600. They were broke as fuck. And she went to acting classes. And now that's very rare that happens, but she beat the odds and she became a famous actress. And she said years later, when she finally became an actress and she had enough money to help her parents, she went to help her parents and her parents would not accept a dime. And I don't know everything, but I know that when someone gives something to you, they should never want it back. Like I said, I remember getting to argue with my father, and that's what he threw in my face, that he gave me $5,000 and he wants it back, and I gave it back to him. And I changed my number and I never talked to him again. Now, but if it wasn't for my father, I always tell you guys, he helped me in parts of my career. So I don't want to act like, he's all bad. He's not. But there's an aspect of that mindset that's what really maybe one of the moments in life that made me a little bit bitter. I realized that I thought maybe after 10 years of building an adult relationship with my dad, that he had moved past certain petty shit. And I felt like he went right back to being an old self, how he could be very vindictive sometimes. Even before he asked for money, he was doing certain shit. And I'm saying to myself, as an adult man at this point, I'm not going back to the childhood days where we're playing games, okay? Because I'm not a child anymore, okay? And, I knew some people, I knew this gay guy, and for a while, and I stand with equal rights, but for a while, I thought all gay people were straight up happy. I told you, I thought all people who were mentally ill were nice, and it's not the truth. Everyone's shitty. Everyone got good and bad. So this one gay guy, he loved kids. Now, I always thought that was a little suspect, but he was right. He was doing it right by the kids. He loved kids. And so I said to myself, I was talking to him one day, and I said, well, when the kid gets to be 16, what do you plan on doing with something? I'd asked him. He goes, well, Sam, I don't like it when kids get to be, teenagers, because then they don't have to do whatever I tell them. See, he liked kids because they had to do what he told them. That's the only reason he liked kids. He didn't like the part of being like a parent when they can talk back or when they have to develop. He liked, and some of the girls I met, they like when they can pick the clothes, they can pick the thing, and the kids got to do whatever they say. Control freak. Okay. And that's what breaks my heart sometimes when I see people have kids just for the part of childhood where the child does pretty much whatever the parent wants. And then the child gets old enough to complain at the grocery store and want sugary cereal. And I see the way some of these parents, the way they scold their children in public. And I understand these children are spoiled, and I understand who wants to hear about a kid. But if you don't have enough patience and grace and money to at least be civil about your kid, your kid's immature, he wants some stuff at the store. If you don't know how to handle that, you don't know how to handle having a kid. Because if you're going to have a kid and you don't think that kid is going to cry in the grocery store or complain in Christmas that, he wants something, and even though they're wrong and you should teach them the lesson about not being entitled. There's a scripture that says if your child wants a loaf of bread, do you give them a brick stone? No. Certainly you don't want to spoil your children to the point where they're entitled, but I don't know any good parent that doesn't want good things for their child or treat them good. However, part of that is a child becomes a young adult and then a full adult, and they get to choose their path. Right or wrong. Now, part of the adult children syndrome sometimes is you can't live with your parents and do what you want. Can't do it. Now, you may need help to get out on your own. We all did. But you got to start doing for yourself. Because if you don't do for yourself at an adult age, can't no one do shit for you. Okay. And you need to get either with a government subsidy, and I got some family members who do it, or you need to get in a toxic relationship where you got to split the bills. One or the other. And look, if you got no choice, you do what you got to do. But if every day you don't do nothing, that is your choice. And, you know, that's something you have to think about. Let's take a hydration break. I know I'm backed up on the comments, guys. Forgive me. I'll get to them. Twister. I always think about this. I think it's the cause of a lot of stress and overthinking. Oh, I read that. I just read that. We just talked about that. I'm sorry. Twister. I would love to hear your opinion on this. Yeah, I just broke that down. Good question, ESP. ESP gave the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Thank you, ESP. I love to you. I appreciate that. Yeah, have I ever had someone call me and say that they're about to commit suicide? Yes. What did I tell them? Well, I didn't tell them much. I just tried to show them love. And I just basically listened. Now, they said that, they kept saying that, and then eventually I told them, I said, look, what do you want me to do? I can only do so much. So, I'll think about, I did that video about that famous nomad girl committed suicide, tragic. But she had mental problems before YouTube. She was getting professional help. She may have even called this hotline. So I don't know the exact science of life. You know, I don't know what goes on in everyone's head. This is what I would tell everyone out there. Give the resources. Thank you, ESP, for giving the hotline. Don't create an environment where there's bullying. I don't agree with that. But ultimately, look, no one can ever fully understand what you go through, but that doesn't mean a support group, whether it's a suicide prevention hotline, a spiritual group, a self-help group support can sincerely help you when you are at a weak place and you're immature. Now, over time, they're only there to give you the support so that you can grow on your own. Now, there's some people that, for whatever reason, you can never reach them. I don't try to figure out who is who, because I cannot get in someone else's brain. Like ESP did, I can say, look, this is a resource. This is what I've been through. And then I have to give space to people to figure out their own thing. But I certainly, you know, like to me, like I know Tim had said he hated himself, but I don't want, I was very careful, and I'm still very careful because I want to be very sincere, that I wouldn't just jump all over Tim and say, no, you're loved, don't do, because I feel like that's so disrespectful to Tim. You know, I don't want to minimize Tim's sincere pain if that was a legit comment. And sometimes those aren't legit comments. They're just seeing it like what I'll do. Sometimes they are. I don't know. I don't try to figure it out. I try to give wholesome advice, whether it's legit or not. But I also try not to. The worst thing, at least for me, I can only speak from my opinion. The worst thing you can do is baby someone. Now, the worst thing you can do is bully someone. I try to just be myself. I say, I'm just me. Okay. If you broke your hip and came to me, I could not repair it. I'm not a doctor. I would take you to the hospital. Okay. If you drown in the ocean, I would probably call a lifeguard unless there was no lifeguard around. I would step in if there was no one else. You say, well, someone's at... What I'm trying to tell you tonight is if I was stepping in, I would do my best. And my best is to try to treat everyone with a level of dignity, not like a baby. You know, not like I'm screaming at them, even though I know sometimes I'm loud. That's just who I am. But I watch my mom sometimes baby one of my sisters, And all it does is make the atmosphere worse. And like I say, a parent's always going to look at you like a baby, and, sometimes two people play the game. Overall, look, everyone in my family, we were blessed and we had great opportunities. However, like I say, everyone in my family chose their own route. I don't know why. I don't try to say this one did. I don't get involved in other. I'm just trying to tell you that I know people that they went to all the right support groups, but they don't want to do the work of their life. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something in them DNA-wise. They went to all the meetings. I don't know if they really went to go and try, or if they just don't have it in them. I don't know. I don't try to figure out other people. I think that's disrespectful of them and me. So, hopefully that helps for whatever reason I felt like sharing it. ESP, thank you. ESP, Tim. There is always someone who cares. ESP, even if no one cares. That's all I like. That's all I like. That's all right. ESP, even if, because I was trying to figure out, do I agree with that? Because sometimes it feels like no one cares, but I was treading light. Let me see what ESP got to say on this one. Even if no one cares, your life matters. I agree with that. You have to find the meaning in your life. Now, I agree with that. Go on your journey. All right, ESP came in strong, okay? ESP came in strong tonight, guys, out to Alaska. Hey, guys, Alaska got something cooking up there. Okay, so they raised ESP. ESP, were you raised in Alaska? Tim? Agreed, ESP. I have been learning to keep up my drive and happiness. Good. Mood, etc. Good. Especially since my mom died. I'm sorry to hear that. That's young. That's tough. Last year, man. But yeah, I'm doing much better now. Well, love to you, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Shout out to my man Pluto. He lost his mom last year. I know when I lose my mom, that'll be a huge hit. I know someone right now in the process of losing their mom. I'm praying for them every day. My mom lost her mom at the age of 12. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she had cancer, and she had like this big tumor that grew on the side of her head. And she died when my mom was very young. And I think my mom was always affected by that, and I think that she really made an effort to try to be there for us because, I think she missed out on having a mom for most of her life, So, it's tough, Again, there's a journey for all of us, and it's a humbling thing, because all of us can look at each other and say, well, this person has more than me. Now, some areas they may have less than me, and vice versa. And, but don't get too far down that road. All you can kind of say is look at other people's life and just try something to be grateful in your own life. But just remember, you're living your own life. You have a different fingerprint than everyone else, including your mother. And I try not to say that I know everyone's pain, because I don't. Everyone has their own, and just like everyone doesn't know mine. However, I could also say that I don't know your passion, just like some people don't know mine. You have to figure out both, Good job. Tim, I read that. Oh, shit. $4.99 super chat. Jose Perez, what's up, man? Needed some purpose, so I enlisted into the Army. Okay. Cannon crew member with airborne shipping out to 27th. Well, congratulations. I know you're scared out of your mind, but I still think it's a good move. Why? If you have nothing else going on in life, or if you were passionate about it, but even if you weren't passionate about it, then I look at enlisting in the Army as going to an electrical apprenticeship. You don't have to retire. You don't have to do your 20 years and retire. You can do your 5 years or whatever, however long you enlisted for, and then get out. Have I ever known people that did that? Yeah. They joined the Army simply for the fact that it would better their life. Did it? For most of the people I know, it did. There's some that didn't, and there's some that I knew that they have an extreme passion for service, and they're doing great. They're kicking ass. They went real up. So what's the benefit of joining the Army? Well, if you stay in it for 20 years, you can retire after 20 years and get health care. You can get VA loans for housing. You can get college. And you got something to do. And something to do is better than nothing to do. Now, if you don't like it, can you get out of it? Of course. Obviously, it's a little bit of an entanglement, but if you have nothing going on and you're a little bit lost, I'm not going to say for everyone, it may not work out, but it may be worth a shot. So I have known people that enlisting in the Army has tremendously helped their life. Tremendously. And certainly, I do know some that it hasn't, but I could say that about any industry. I know some people that were going to be nurses and they dropped out. I know some people that were going to be construction workers and they dropped out. I know some people that were going to be an IT engineer and they dropped out. So I can look at any industry and tell you some succeeded, some failed, some were in the middle. Some of it'll be what you make it. Some of it'll be a journey in your life, but treat it with respect and learn something from it. Try to, I remember when I was doing mentoring, when I did nonprofit and I did shit like without monetization, there was a time where I was hooked up with like this mentoring program in New Jersey at an Army base for like troubled teens. And you'd basically take them to this Army base. They go on like a boot camp for a couple months or whatever to get their GED. It's like give them an alternate path in life. And so like I would have to go like every few weeks and like, cause every kid needed like a mentor, right? So I remember talking to one of the Army guys and we were chopping it up and he was like, look, Sam, what I tell these kids is trust the process. They may not like the process. They may not like the militant structure. Army what does give you structure, okay? It's not very creative. It's very structured. However, in life, you need both creativity and structure. And when you're young, you definitely need structure. So, especially if you're not very self-structured. And you go, Sam, what we're trying to do is just tell the kids, follow the process. You may not like the process, but being that you need some guidance right now for whatever reason, this process will at least help you go on a path forward. It doesn't mean you have to stay on the path that we're taking you, but it will take you somewhere, okay? And, like I said, guys, better to go do something than do nothing, So, again, I don't want to oversell anything because everything has a pro and a con. But what I want to tell you, Jose, and anyone out there that can get something from this is that I think that you made a good decision to try something that if used properly and if it fits you, it could tremendously benefit your life. And if it doesn't, and if you still treat it with respect, it will still be a good part of your life because you'll get a good experience. So love to you, Jose, man. I know you're scared. It's okay to be scared. Let me tell you guys, look, I've been scared to do things most of my life. Some jobs I literally go shaking. I still get scared sometimes going live. As you get older and as you have more experience, you get and more confidence and more knowledge, you have less fear because you know what it is, But I was watching that interview with Brooke Shields. Like I said, she went through like a big injury on her hip. And she was saying before she got injured, she was very strong. She was in the gym. Obviously, she's very successful. She's a famous actress. So she was really like at this state of empowerment. And she goes, after I shattered my hip and I basically became a disabled person that couldn't do anything for themselves, I lost all my confidence. And it's like, you bet on a stock, the stock went all the way up and then all of a sudden it just crashed and you're right back to zero. And sometimes that's how life is. It's like as you do something, you build it, you get this confidence, you get this strength, your muscles grow. And then all of a sudden, something can just happen and you get right back knocked down 20 years. However, this is what I want to tell you tonight. You can't live in fear. As I was watching that interview, I was almost getting fearful. Like, man, something like that could happen to me. And it's true. Any of us. But it's like you can't live in fear. Like they tell you that like after an attack or something like that, terrorist attack or some life tragedy, like you can't live your life in fear. And it's not a sales pitch. Look, to a certain extent, that's truth. So, obviously in life, you have to have caution. Because it's like, obviously, there's real risks in life, right? Like, we wear safety belts for a reason. And I remember not wearing a safety belt when I was young. I remember getting pulled over on the Garden State Parkway. That was like kind of when safety belts weren't really enforced, then they were starting to enforce them. And I remember getting in an accident without a seatbelt. So what I could tell you is danger is real. Again, that's why we wear a safety belt. Okay. However, if you have the ability to drive and you don't drive just for the fear of something, then it's like, do you live? I'm not saying everyone should drive. Again, I know someone who's epileptic. They don't drive. They can't drive. They take an Uber everywhere. Okay. If you're an elderly person, you may not want to drive. So my message is you can't live in fear. Okay. You do what you can within reason. Okay. And you live life. Because no matter how you look at it, 25% of this year just passed. And our life is passing by every day, guys. We're getting older. We're all going to die. Just like this, guys. It's getting closer and closer. And I feel like I come up on these live feeds and, I see myself, getting older. And everything's going. I'm still looking good. We're still going. But what I'm trying to tell you is time passes. Can't believe it's been 4 years since I had a YouTube channel. Like you're like, I understand, Jose, you're probably scared to enlist in the Army, but and some of it will go slow and some of it will be painful. You'll want to quit. Don't quit as long as you can handle it. Because you're going to look back 4 years from now and say, praise the Lord. I remember starting a job with a guy, and it was this new contract in an area, and we were like the first employees getting trained. And there was about, 12 of us. And I knew one of the guys. And we were in this training class. And he pulled me aside after the class. He goes, Sam. He goes, look around. He goes, how many people you think will be here in 2 years? And I was still a little bit young. I was like, I don't know. He was, all right, just remember I asked you that. Sure enough, 2 years went by. And one day he pulled me off to the side out of the blue. He goes, Sam, remember when we were in training? He goes, remember I said to you how many people, and out of the 12 people we started with, I think it was only like me, him, and 2 other guys, maybe something like that. It was a small percentage that started. And they're going to tell you that probably in boot camp. I guarantee you, there are going to be certain people that just, what happens in life, I'm not saying everyone should stick with everything, because some people, it's not for you, that's fine. But what I'm saying in life is don't just X yourself out of everything. Because what I've learned in life is if you just show up, you're going to take a lot of people's spot. There's a lot of things in life, guys, that I wasn't the best. I'm still not the best. But I just show up and someone doesn't, and I go like this, right in a spot. Okay? And so, and that's what I learned in life. A lot of people move up by default. And you'll be surprised how far you can get by showing up, staying out of trouble, and not being hard to deal with. Not being hard to deal with. And hopefully that helps you in some way. Shout out to you. Let's take a hydration break. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Charles. I'll get back to live comments. Charles, great to see you. Kathy, thank you. All right, let me go back in order. I want to be respectful. Charles, keep pushing forward, man. You're almost in Florida. It's going to be okay, Charles. I know you're scared too. You're going to do good. Let me find my spot, man. Thank you for sharing. I read that. No, I didn't read that. Tim. No, I didn't read this. I got to go back up. Okay, yeah, Twister. I always think about this. I think it is a cause of a lot of stress, overthink. Oh, yeah, I read this already. Oh, yeah, ESP gave the hotline. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, this is where I was left off. Tim, I agree, ESP. I've been learning to keep my drive and happiness, mood, etc. Oh, yeah, I read that. I'm sorry, Tim. Yep. And Tim goes, appreciate the seriousness here. Well, yes, Tim, I appreciate that, man. Look, I try to be serious. Also, there's times we're just having a good time. We're laughing, we're joking. And it's a sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're happy. I try to give you every layer of life, because I'm living life and this is a reality show pretty much. I mean, guys, this ain't, we're not doing like, tap. This is like real life. Get this real stuff behind me. So yeah, thank you, Tim. We for the season, Tim, that we're connected. I hope it's a blessing to you and we appreciate you. Twister. He goes, I absolutely love your response. However, here's just a little background foundation. Okay. It's me, my mom, my dad, my little brother, lots of love flowing through the family, okay? All throughout my life, okay? Twister, I am very thankful for this. And then he points up to his family. See, I like how you type in. You type in and you explaining yourself very crystal clear. And that's why I tell you, see, like I could tell by the way you're able to express. When I'm reading your comments right now, what I'm seeing is you sending an email to someone at a job site that you're project managing and that you need an update on the project. And you're explaining what you need. Every task needs an explanation and a visual reference. And what I see your ability is way above making donuts at a donut shop. There is nothing wrong with doing that. But when you have a lot more to give, don't sell yourself short. You're selling donuts, but it's like you're selling yourself short. Not because you're working, because that's honorable, but I want you to also know you have more ability. And it doesn't mean you're not still going to fail and not get a chance. It means you have to develop that ability, earn your mobility up, keep your job making donuts, but keep applying to other jobs, being a project manager or whatever you're going to be. Twister, I'm very grateful for your family, he says. My parents came to the USA in the 80s. Shout out to the 80s. I was born in the 80s. And my dad went to college here and started multiple businesses. Shout out to him. Twister. However, they were all a lot of causes years ago. They were failing for decades and were the cause of many, many fights growing up. I can understand that. Owning a business, while it may be the American dream, it's a high level of failure. Most businesses fail. Most people will make more money working for a company than working for themselves. That's the truth. There's some exceptions. And in America, we all love the entrepreneur, and it's great. And now with the gig economy, you're technically working for yourself as independent contractor. It's great. But I always want to tell you guys, having your own business is very risky. And that's why, because it's very volatile. There's no like guaranteed paycheck. It's like, so that's a lot of stress. And that's why, again, I preach the message of living below your means so you can eliminate some stress. You can't eliminate all. And then you can be more yourself and you can love others without hating yourself. When you have a lot of stress, guys, even me, like even now, like I get too much stress. And that's why I live a simplistic life. Beyond the money is the emotion. And, even if I get a small condo or a small RV lot or whatever, and maybe I won't, I don't know, but I don't want a lot. I want in proportion of what I have so that I don't get my life out of balance. Again, if I had $10 billion, obviously I would get more because it would be in a level of proportion. I don't want a lot. And I'm blessed to have a lot, but beyond the financial is the emotional capacity. And when our emotions are out of balance, our life's out of balance. Because money can't solve everything. It can solve a lot, but it can't solve everything. All right, let me go back to his comment. He goes, however, there was a lot of causes of the failure years ago. There were a lot of fights growing up. He goes, Twister, they generated no money. Yep, that's what happens to most businesses. And he would pinch pennies to pay the rent. Yep. And my mom would see that, and she was scared, I'm sure. And you're in a foreign country. That's very scary. I give them a lot of credit. and what she can snag here and there through different little methods to get us food and raise us. That's the scary part. The other scary part is, for a lot of immigrants, depending on their status, they may not get all the government subsidies an American would get. Okay. And, there's a tough debate there. So, like I have people in my family, right, that they don't work, they get government subsidies. And an immigrant may come in the country, work more than them, okay, but may not have the subsidies. So there's no, some things you can't control. However, some people can look at you and say, hey, look, some of your friends, or you may not know them, but some of your father or mother's friends from Iran, they may look at you like, well, you guys made it to America, yeah, your businesses are failing, but we're over here and we don't have any opportunity. At least your kids will be able to have an opportunity. We don't have anything. So now again, it doesn't mean like it's that way everywhere, but it's a very tough circumstance, And again, I've known people that have married Americans in order to progressively move their family forward. And if I was in a tough situation, I would consider, if I was born in another country and the country didn't have a lot of opportunity, would I consider marrying an American to get to the country? I would certainly consider it. Certainly. No doubt. So, there's a lot of different aspects of life, Twister. They generated no money and he would pinch pennies. I read this. Yeah, and then his mom would see that, do what she could to raise us. I respect that. Twister, thank you for sharing about your father and the other father example. That is pretty accurate to my father, and it makes me feel better that there are other people going through similar things. You're very well articulated, Twister. You know what you're talking about. Again, I know it can always be worse. Good, I like gratefulness, and I'm super thankful. You're nailing it. My dad did a lot for us. There you go. He did the best he could. You got to have your boundaries too, though. He did the best he could, but you got to have your boundaries. Growing up, more than a lot of others. There you go. I'm just saying it was and has been very problematic before I left for LA. No, look, either way, I think it's a good thing. What did you say? You're 22? I think that's the age I moved out. I think it's a good thing for you that you moved out, and whether you're working in a donut shop or whatever you're doing, it's great. Because you have to experience this to become an adult. And I know your parents are scared, mainly your mom or whatever, but I think it's understandable, but it's good that you did that because it's time. Look, unless you have a disability, at the age of 22, it's time to start figuring out your life. Now, it doesn't mean you may not fall on hard times and have to go back home. There's nothing wrong with that. There is no shame in having to go back home to your parents. However, if you have to go back home to your parents, do what you need to do to get your life back in order so that you can either get back out on your own or whatever. Because unless your parents are disabled themselves, they need their space too. As much as your mother may love you and you love her, I am sure that if you go back there, she'll happily have you back. But she's also going to get in arguments with you because she's going to need her space. So there's that dynamic of life there that I've been through. And again, there's some exceptions because there's some disabilities and there's some people that need support. But you know what I'm saying. Twista says, thank you, Sam. Thank you for sharing. Twista. Oh, and my parents come from Palestine. Shout out to Palestine. I knew a Palestinian guy that used to rent an apartment from my friend. And he had to connect for the long white tees that I used to get back in the days that were Galaxy. I guess they made them in Palestine or whatever. Because he had to connect. And I would buy boxes of white tees, 5X, from him. He would get them shipped here. That's what he was doing. He was like an importer-exporter. So I would he would give them to me on the cheap. Shout out to him. Now, he eventually didn't pay his rent, but I got some white tees on wholesale. That's true. Shout out to all my Palestinians. But me and my bro were born in Texas. Shout out to Texas. Twister, thank you, SP. Tim. I was being serious, man. Well, love and respect to you. Thank you. But yeah, I'm okay, though. I'm doing a lot better. I just feel like being real with myself about my energy. I respect that. And how I'm feeling. I respect that. Every day is helpful for my overall health. Right on. No, I respect that. I respect what you're saying, and I appreciate that. And so, yeah, I tried to treat that as if I didn't know whether it was or whether it isn't. And I still kind of act like that because I think that that allows me to answer the question clearly. Because obviously, if someone watches my videos in context, they may not like everything I say. They may not like me. But they can see the overall message is about self-care, making the most of your life. And it has nothing to do with hurting other people or hurting yourself. Sometimes I talk wild with the commentary, but it's all within reason. So I feel as long as I do that, then I allow everyone to be an adult on the channel. And I appreciate when they share their real harsh feelings. And I try to answer it as I'm speaking to an adult, and all my videos are tagged for adults 18 and older. So that I have found, for me, when someone speaks to me as an adult, it's a sign of respect, rather than if someone was talking to me as a baby, that's a sign of disrespect. So I know there's a balance, and I respect, and that's where there's a great aspect of a woman's touch. And I appreciate ESP putting that number in there, because that's the value of a woman. And I did a whole video about it, that even though women got their ways too, believe me, the value of a woman, not all, but many, is there's something in them that is not a man. And that it's a nurturing thing. It's a little bit more patience thing. Now, I did date a girl. She was not nurturing. And she even told me straight up, like, I don't have that quality. She was like a dude, so she wasn't lesbian, but she was like a dude, like, so I'm not going to say all girls. And so there's nothing wrong if you're a girl and you're not nurturing. But I'm saying there is something of that, there's value. There's been times in my life where I seek the counsel of a woman over a man, not because I was trying to get with them, but because I liked, there was a little bit softer tone. But I can't be a woman. I'm not a woman. And so, yeah, I appreciate that, Twister. I'm so sorry to hear that, Tim. I'll be praying for you and her. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jose. Kathy, sorry to hear about your mom, Tim. Blessings to you. Thank you, Kathy. Great to see you. Adam, thank you for your commitment, Jose. Yep, I agree. Thank you, Adam. Twister, congratulations, Jose. I hope it treats you well. Amen. You got balls for making the move, man. On. Yeah, I agree with that. One day at a time. Oh, I love that. Good comment. Twister, good job. Twister, keep us updated on how it goes. Yep. I remember there was this girl I was dating, and her daughter. I'm not going to tell that story. I'll keep that story. Free Spirit. Congratulations, Jose. I did 8 years. I'll shout out to you, Free Spirit. Free Spirit did 8 years in the military as an ammo tech. Yeah, bust your ass. 89B. He's locked and loaded. Shout out to Free Spirit, man. Love to you, brother. Kathy, sometimes life can be devastating. You damn right, Kathy. But I try to move forward. I love your attitude with positive minds. Kathy, same thing. Like, I don't know if Kathy's a serial killer on the low, but I know, and I always try to act like I don't know if someone's serious or not. But I'll tell you this, because I met some people, they're great actors, and they stay in their role for a long time. Like, they never break role. And you think like that, guys, I've met some psychopaths in my life, okay? But I want to tell you this, Kathy. If you're playing the role of a positive person, you're nailing that shit, okay? And you're fucking, but I thank you, Kathy, because even if you're not, or if you are, I'm joking a little bit, but I'm serious, and I never have expectation, but I have appreciation for Kathy, how you come in here consistently, and it's very positive, very simple, and there's no drama. And I appreciate that about you. And I appreciate everyone. I want everyone to be themselves. So thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy, thanks for inspiring me daily, Samuel. You're inspiring me too. Thank you. Charles, what's up, brother? Very excited for you. I know you're scared too when you moved to Florida, but you're going to do great. Charles, what's up, Sam? What's up, brother? I'm nervous. I know. I didn't even read this. I knew this was coming. He goes, I'm nervous and scared. That's normal. That's normal. He's moving. That I won't be able to meet the expectations of my new employer. It's totally normal. What should you do? Show up scared as hell. What should you do on day 2? Show up scared as hell. What should you do on day 3? Showed up scared as hell. What should you do on day 35? Showed up scared, not as hell, but you'll be a little scared. As you show up, the fear will diminish. I remember some jobs I would go on, and I thought, oh my God, I am not ready for this. And then I would go there, and they would give me a couple of assignments, and I'm like, oh, this ain't that bad. Now, I've been on a couple jobs where I got some, and this was mainly when I was working construction, because I knew that wasn't my gift, but I did what I needed to do. So, and the only way you find out what you're good at, what you're not, is by doing. And there's some jobs I went on, and there were some jobs I was given, but I just took you, just do it. Okay. But I believe, in my opinion, Charles, that you're doing the right thing by moving to Florida because that's something you want to do. I don't believe the job is going to be too hard for you, but I believe the mental anxiety of showing up to any new job, even that you're good at, is hard. And you overcome that simply by being scared and showing up anyway, consistently. And what I will tell you, time is flying by. We're 25% through 2021. A quarter of the year is over. So what I can tell you is if you do the right thing and you show up, we'll be sitting here June 30th. And another 25% of the year will be gone. And you will be working at that job for 2 months. You'll be more confident. You'll be more calm. You'll be wealthier. You'll be happier. You still may be even a little scared to show up, but you'll be further than you were today. And that is the sales pitch of showing up. It doesn't mean you eliminate being scared by showing up. It means your life gets better when you show up, and over time, there's less fear and more confidence. Yep, good job. Free Spirit, shout out to you, man. He goes, agreed, trust the process. There you go. After your first enlistment, transfer to a job that translates well to the civilian sector. This is good advice, better than I could give on this. I.e. dentistry or anything in the medical field. I'll tell you right now, Free Spirit nailed it. This guy gave you great advice. This guy's lived that life. Free Spirit, 8 years in the service, he just gave you good advice. Free Spirit, hand clap emoji, brother. Excellent, excellent advice. Adam, Charles, you got it. Never doubt yourself. There you go. Positive, very positive, Adam. Thank you. Adam's got COVID with 100-degree temperature. He's giving positive comments. Hand clap to Adam, man. I hope you're still listening. Twister, I'm very flattered. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're nailing it. You got the good, vocabulary. You know how to break shit down. Your words literally mean tons to me. There you go. Thank you, Sam. Well, thank you. Because you got it all inside you. And keep doing your thing, man. Charles, thank you for your encouragement, Adam. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Adam's got 100-degree fever. I'll tell you right now, guys, I get 100-degree fever. Shit, I'm not reading no comments, man. Like, I see a spider, I get scared. I fucking shut down Laffy, you know. So I give him credit. He's doing probably more than I would do for him. I'll tell you right now. So, love to you, Adam. You do a soldier out there. We all have our different gifts, guys. Like I tell you, guys, you put me in a daycare center. Would I do good? I'll probably do good because I'm good with kids. Now, if I do good whatever I'm at. I adapt. That's not what I want to do, though. Okay. So, oh shit, Charles. No. Super sticker, super jacket. Thank you. Well, thank you, Charles, and thank you, Adam. Thank you, Charles, very much. You've been very gracious, and I appreciate your huge super chat the other night. That was very gracious of you. I appreciate everyone, and I'm very grateful. Very grateful. I mean it very sincerely. I don't take that for granted. Thank you, Charles. I'm proud of you, brother. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, all my members. I hope that people got something out of it tonight. We had some great guests. Everyone added something great tonight, guys. Okay? Whether it was ESP, new member Tim, everyone, guys. I don't want to start naming names. Howell's in here. Everyone's doing great. And Jersey Lynn, yeah, she's a cutie from New Jersey. Okay, she's married though, guys. So just keep pushing forward, guys. We're going forward one day at a time. Thank you for everything. Peace.